So all these concepts, they go beyond World of Warcraft. They've seeped into their other game franchises. Now I made a video that pretty much talks about the same thing, but I want to give a few different examples. Like, let's look at StarCraft 2. Now StarCraft 2, if you enjoy the multiplayer or the custom maps, is well worth the money. But compare it to other games. To other games that cost the same amount. Why did they split the campaign into 3 pieces? The campaign is crap. The first one was pretty good, the second one was pretty crap. But they could have made both of them better. And they could have made both of them longer. Why didn't they? Well, because by separating the game into 3 parts, we have to pay for it 3 times. It's pretty simple. A lot of people talked about this when they first introduced the concept. And the problem is that StarCraft 2 is such a good game. If you're into real-time strategy, there's really no better option. But I don't think that trend's going to continue. And let's talk about Diablo 3. Diablo 3, once again, could have been so much better. It could have been QA tested, and it wasn't. The QA test, they only went through normal, it seems to me. Like, they didn't test Inferno. Look how many changes they've made to Inferno since release. It doesn't really seem like it was tested at all. There was no in-game. The Inferno in-game was crap. None of it was tested. And this is Blizzard, right? I mean, they have tons of money. Why wasn't any of this stuff tested? Because all they care about is the money now. Any passion they've had for their games has gone long out the window. And the devs will say whatever they have to get you to buy their games, because their job depends on you buying their games. But the company itself, I mean, everybody's ripped on Jay Wilson, but Jay Wilson admitted before Diablo 3 was ever released that he never really played Diablo 2. Well, if I'm passionate about creating the next great Diablo game, wouldn't I want to pick people that at least enjoyed it, that at least played it? Jay Wilson basically said that he didn't enjoy Diablo 2. So let's put him in charge of Diablo 3, right? Because he sounds like the prime candidate. Okay, Jay Horse is a dead horse, been beat to death, and then people kept beating on him, so I'm not going to talk about him, but the game, Diablo 3, was meant to wring money out of people, right? And Diablo 2, which you can still go back and play, it's still a fantastic game. Especially during the ladder resets, like, there's good money to be made in selling items. Good money to be made. You can also read like some of the not so conspiracy theories about Diablo 2 item sellers, about how they introduced duping mechanics into patches, about how the customer service was made aware of that kind of stuff. I guess what I'm saying is, in Diablo 2, buying items was rampant. Third-party sites, you go buy the items. If you want to. I mean, you don't have to. I never did, because, well, actually, I take that back. I did one time. I bought, what was it called? The thing that lets you teleport around? Oh, yeah. Bought the hell out of that. It cost me like 50 cents. It was a steal. Anyway, so Diablo 3 is going to get rid of that, right, by the real money auction house. But no, it didn't. Like, everything on the third-party sites is just cheaper now. They don't ban the bots. And everything is just built to make Blizzard money. They sold Diablo 3. Nobody had played the game. I mean, look at all the people that spent so much time and were so excited during the beta. Right? We only got to play 12 levels, the very first crap boss, you know, Skeleton King. Oh man, the game had so much promise. And they could have made the rest of the game like that. But I'll tell you what, the real reason they didn't let people in the beta see more of the game was not because of the crap story that they probably, you know, paid some 5th grader $5 to write. Seriously, it's a crap story. Like, I don't think anybody's arguing that. But it also has so many loopholes. Like, seriously, I think one of the developers' kids wrote that one day, pinned it on the refrigerator, and the dev brought it into work and was like, okay, we got the story. We haven't really talked about the story, but here it is. All right. He probably bought his kid an ice cream after work and said, thanks for helping me keep my job. Crap story. the whole game, they knew they had the hype. They knew that everybody wanted Diablo 3. and they didn't care about the game. They didn't test the game. They didn't make a good game. They didn't like let people play through the game before it was released. Otherwise, they would have known all these problems with it. But they didn't care. All they wanted was our money. The game didn't even work. You remember that for like the first 12 hours? Go check out, Boogie's video, which is hilarious. And all the other hilarious videos. There's tons of good videos about Area 37. All they care about is the money, guys. All they care about is the money. What's their other franchise? Warcraft. World of Warcraft is part of the Warcraft franchise now, but it really leaves me skeptical about Warcraft 4. Like, why haven't they designed it yet? Maybe they aren't interested in the money yet. Whenever they want some more money, they'll throw together some piece of crap game and call it Warcraft 4. Most likely. All their passion has gone out of their games. It's sad. All they care about is my money. Well, I'm gonna start giving my money to other companies. I think that about sums it up about Blizzard. Oh, BlizzCon. Let's talk about BlizzCon. They operate BlizzCon at a loss. It's been stated before. They operated BlizzCon at a loss. There was no BlizzCon last year. They're talking about doing BlizzCon again this year. That's great. I never got to go because, I'm just like a poor little gamer. But, I've always wanted to go to BlizzCon. I was a huge Blizzard fanboy ever since I was like in 6th or 7th grade. Of course, back then you could argue they actually cared about their games. But, whatever. Not a Blizzard fanboy anymore. Why didn't they have BlizzCon last year? I bet it's because they operate BlizzCon at a loss. And they realized with Diablo 3 when it released that people will make a Blizzard game, the highest selling PC game of all time at release. Even if it's a piece of shit game that you can't even play. Blizzard learned something with Diablo 3. They learned that they can release a game that doesn't work and it will still sell more copies than any other game out there. So why do BlizzCon? They don't need to build a bigger fan base, right? All they have to do is release a game that doesn't work, and they'll sell more copies than any other game in history. So, but they're bringing BlizzCon back. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because their reputation's been so damaged the past couple of years that they feel the need to redeem themselves. What I want to talk about is why they didn't have BlizzCon last year. They said it was because they're so stressed out after all these new releases. Working hard on StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. Working hard on what? They introduced 6 new units and then had a 6-month-long beta test to balance them. The campaign was obviously thrown together in the map editor in a week or two. The voice acting probably took longer than it took to actually create the campaign. Oh man. Why was there no BlizzCon? Because you were tired? You just finished a major project. You just finished Diablo 3 as a major project. You just finished it. We're too tired to have BlizzCon. Have you ever watched the videos from BlizzCon? Or maybe you've went? They don't do anything. They just sit there and answer questions. And usually not the questions that we want answered. So, yeah. Blizzard's all about the money now. All about the money. People should band with me. Until they prove us wrong, we should quit buying their games. Definitely, we should quit paying for their games. We should quit supporting their games. Let them prove us wrong. That should be their responsibility. We're a capitalist society. We don't owe them anything. They owe us. Okay? As much as I hate being entitled, we are entitled because we should only buy a product based on its merit. And Blizzard games haven't had any merit. Like I said, aside from the fact if you like StarCraft 2 multiplayer, that game, if you like the multiplayer, is still kick-ass. If you like the custom maps, still pretty kick-ass. Totally worth the money. But what if you're a guy like me, that you like it for the campaign, you like it for the story? Don't support the product. And I guess that about sums it up.